Things are getting interesting here, guys. Just when you thought the Bulls had put in some decent space, the Bears come back with a vengeance and take it back almost in one day here. What's up, guys? It's Will back with another video here today. So we're going to take a look at the major market indexes today, go over our major tech names here, and see what happened today and if our daily potential uptrend reversals are still in play or if the Bears have now taken back too much space to allow that to happen. Keep in mind, big day tomorrow. Jackson Hole, as you may already know, Jerome Powell speaking at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning Eastern. And that is going to be a very big catalyst for the market. Strange though, usually it's not. In the past 5-6 years, usually Jackson Hole has been a bit of a non-event. But since last year's damage that Jerome Powell caused during the event, a lot of eyes are going to be looking at tomorrow to see if the same thing might just happen. So taking a look at our major indexes today, guys, SPY 1.39% to the downside, QQQ 2.14% to the downside, massive drops. And if you take into account our pre-market trading, the drops are even larger than this. All of our major indexes down and red on the day here, guys. Big reversal from yesterday's trading. I wanted to leave this up to today's trading. Complete opposite, broad market sell-off here. So you never like to see that, guys. We weren't expecting this big of a drop. Even I was not expecting this big of a drop here. I was expecting somewhat of a drop tomorrow if Jerome Powell had a hawkish name. I was kind of claiming that today was going to be pretty much a non-factor. But the Bears showed up to play today. So you have to give it to them. On the one-day relative performance, you can see yesterday versus today. Complete opposite here with technology and communications services leading the way down. That's because our major tech names had some of the biggest sell-offs here. On a one-week relative here, some of our sectors are still positive. As you can see, we're still holding on to some gains here. Cyclicals, technology, real estate, basic materials and utilities, financials, and healthcare down are two other major sectors, guys. So we're going to look at this very closely today. So let's get into the charts right away here. So SPY. If we take a look here from pre-market all the way to the low of the day, and I don't like the fact that we closed at the low of the day today. Broad market selling off right into the close. If you see here, guys, over 1.85% top to bottom. And on QQQ, it was even worse, guys. This is one of the largest down days on QQQ that I've seen in a while, guys. 3.14%, right? And if you look on the futures chart since last night, top to bottom, you're talking about 3.7%. This is one of the largest sell-offs from pre-market to market close that I have seen in months at this point. So it has to be notable to you. A lot of people put it down to apprehension for Jackson Hole, potentially the Fed stating that they're going to have to maintain rates to be a bit higher. Other people say profit taking after NVIDIA earnings. Well, whatever it can be, guys, it definitely was notable to me today. So let's get into our technical analysis here. What were we looking out for? Crucial levels here now at this point, guys. As we've been talking about all week, size of the bounce was key. We got a very big bounce, but the problem is the Bears have taken back pretty much 2.5 days of trading in one single day. So if you put the fib on this, guys, right, we're going to look at the fib here. Off the size of the bounce, you can see that the Bears have taken back 70% of our bounce in one single day. Definitely not what you want to see, especially on a momentum scale, right? So very, very aggressive selling all day intraday. No relief whatsoever, just from open to close, broad market selling, cracking the lows of Tuesday pretty much, right? So don't like to see that, guys. Now, the hourly trends are definitely lost at this point. We'll just be looking for a lower high compared to this high. And potentially, we're going to shape up here for whether or not we are going to lose Friday's lows. This is the key level, guys, right? Bulls still with a bit of space to work with here. We are still looking to see if they can get this daily trend change in motion. Jackson Hole, Jerome Powell is going to be crucial tomorrow. If he can come off dovish and say something good, then we may be able to save this, guys. But if he comes off and says something negative, well, wouldn't be surprised here, and we may smash down to our lows here. But the expected scenario, guys, right? This is why I was saying it was crucial to look at the size of the bounce, right? We have always been in a daily downtrend. We were always looking for a lower high. That was the most likely scenario, lower high compared to our previous high here. But I was saying, depending on the size of the bounce, you could either expect a flush. If we got a bounce up here, then the expected scenario was most likely going to be flush. But if we got a good enough bounce going, the Bulls had a chance. Thumbnail of yesterday, NVIDIA bulls give hope, right? Hope, not confirmation. Confirmation, you need to confirm the daily uptrends. Until then, it is still a daily downtrend, right? So we're still going to look to see if the bulls can put in a stop here and crack these now highs around 445 to create that daily uptrend. So taking this one day at a time, guys. QQQ, same thing, right? QQQ with an engulfing move. They actually engulfed, which actually swung the probabilities to the bulls' favor of them being able to change this into a daily uptrend. However, if the bears are able to take all of this back, guys, well, your weekly consolidation here just is going to continue, right? And arguably, with the size of the bounce, right, taking out our previous week's high, you could argue that this is potentially the start of a weekly downtrend, which would mean monthly consolidation. Crucial levels here, guys. 355 on QQQ is going to be the area to watch. I was having a lot of confidence for the bulls, especially after a move like this. But when you take back so much in one single day without any news, it has to be notable to you, right? So we're going to take this one day at a time. Bulls still with a chance. But as the bears push further, that chance fades further and further away. So we'll keep an eye on this closely. XLF had a great day to start the day, but gave it all back as they just could not hold back the broad market bears. You can see that 9:30, I was actually very bullish on XLF today, and they just gave it back all day, right? Losing pretty much this hourly uptrend that we had, confirming the hourly downtrend intraday, right? So we're going to keep an eye on XLF, still struggling in this area of support, 33.90 all the way down to about 33.50 here. We are still looking for our weekly higher lows for potential continuation. Anything above 32.50 is just going to be that weekly higher low. But bears not willing to give too much to the bulls at this point, right? We're just looking for a daily lower high, right, off the result of this move. And we might have just got it with today's trading, right? Potential daily lower high, maybe into further daily downtrend. So we're going to watch this very closely. Tomorrow's crucial. XLV Healthcare could not keep it up. I was actually proud of the bulls' work being able to start this bounce after lagging behind technology bulls for some days. They're finally getting somewhat of a bounce underway, and now they have flushed it. The daily downtrend at this point is reconfirmed. Crucial level here, 132 is going to be very, very, very important for them. If they lose the 132, guys, they will set up for a potential weekly downtrend. And we haven't had a weekly confirmed downtrend on XLV Healthcare in quite some time, right? This whole area was a tightening range, but now that they've broken above, tried for the weekly uptrend, failed, and now look below. If we break this 132 area, it'll be weekly downtrend confirmed. And at that point, guys, your monthly consolidation, unfortunately, will continue here. So this is the scenario that I did not want to happen after such a nice breakout, but the rest of the market is not participating. So it's hard for the healthcare bulls to go out and do something on their own, right? IWM Russell, same thing. IWM Russell completely failing miserably. I was never very confident in this chart. I remember saying this the last few days of trading. While the rest of the market had bounced, especially technology, the growth stocks were doing absolutely nothing. And there was so much room that the bears had put in here. The most likely scenario was always daily lower high and potentially look below for the lower low, right? So appears that they potentially want to do that. Bulls still have a slight amount of space to work with here before Friday's low 182, but not looking the best, especially if tomorrow doesn't come out with some good news. If we do confirm the daily downtrend here, continuation, we will be looking for support at that point. 180. This 180 pocket is going to be crucial at this point, guys. Why? Because that represents your weekly previous low, right? Weekly previous low in jeopardy right now. The best case scenario that the bulls can look out for is potentially a tightening range. The worst case scenario that can happen is weekly downtrend into further monthly consolidation. Monthly, at least some decent space above 169 to allow that to happen. Dow Jones. Dow Jones not being spared, looking exactly like XLF, but breaking now. Dow Jones confirming, kind of a bit like healthcare, right? Confirming the downtrend on the daily, right? So Dow Jones tightening range into daily downtrend confirmed. Daily downtrend now reconfirmed on the Dow Jones here. So bulls pretty much have to start from scratch. We're going to have to wait for them to put in a bounce. Watch the size of the bounce and reverse here, but not looking the best for the Dow Jones names. Now losing our support that we were so confident in. The bears have said, nope, no thanks. We're going to smash through it at this point, guys. So this new whole area now is going to act as somewhat of resistance here at the top side. You can argue that this whole area is somewhat of a range, and I can pretty much allow that on the technicals, right? All the way down here, up to here, right? So even around 34,000, but 34,000, guys, is going to be a key level for the Dow Jones. You can see that we're almost right there, 34,100 pretty much. right? And you do have your previous weekly higher lows down here, right? So 33.7 going to be crucial. If we lose 34,000, 33.7 at that point, guys, in jeopardy. If we come down here, in jeopardy of losing the weekly uptrend on the Dow Jones, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. The next few days are going to be absolutely crucial to determine the next month, arguably, right? If we lose these guys and some of these guys lose their weekly uptrends, it's going to take the bulls a lot of time to reverse these. These higher time frames, they do take a long time to play out, right? So if we lose this and we go into potential monthly further consolidation here, well, it's going to take at least a month to get out of that. And that's been no stranger to the channel here. August and September, I've been saying our negative catalysts could be an uptick in your inflation, right? It's just unfortunate that we had to start it off with a USA credit downgrade, but now the bears have been following through on all of these moves, something that they haven't been able to do pretty much all year until now. Now they're proving it to us that they want that longer term consolidation. So we're going to give their bears their turn. I'm still very bullish on the overall state of this market, but your weekly and monthly consolidation was inevitable for the year, and August and September may just be the months to do it. Bitcoin doing absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing again, right? 2 days of drop. It just goes to show you how non-volatile crypto is, right? Not only can the bulls not follow through on any moves, but even the bears, when they make a massive move like this, they can't even follow through on more moves, right? So just a lack of volume and volatility in crypto as a whole. Bitcoin kind of stuck here in the 26,000 range. I will reiterate, our next area of support is this guy down here all the way at 24,500, right? So if we go down to 24,500, watch out, guys, because that will potentially be your monthly higher lows in jeopardy of being lost. But until then, we're going to keep an eye on it. The bulls with so much work to do to reverse this potentially, right? So we're going to keep an eye on it closely here, but crypto just out of favor as a whole. Apple, right? Apple had engulfed the most recent move. I was saying yesterday, was very proud of the bulls, saying that now the probabilities favor the bulls to set the daily lower high and potential daily trend change. Now, the bulls still working with a decent amount of space here. Anything above pretty much 172 is just going to be an attempt for a daily higher low and daily trend change here. We will take this one day at a time, but Apple bulls still do have a decent amount of space to work with here. However, if we do continue to break down, we flush this 172 level, guys, I will remind you at this point, right, your weekly consolidation will still be underway. And if we do crack those lows here, it can be argued once again here, since we've cracked the previous week's high, you can argue that monthly consolidation there will be continuing there for potentially another monthly candle, right, into potentially September here. So we're going to take this one day at a time, but bulls still with some hope to set the daily trend changes here. We will keep an eye on all of these charts because these next few days, guys, are absolutely crucial to see what the next few weeks are going to do. If the bulls can save this, right, your daily trend changes are underway and you may be in store for some more weekly bounces, right? But if they lose it, guys, it can really set up for weekly continuation to the downside here, monthly consolidation. That's why I say the next few days are going to be crucial. Now that we've had a decent enough bounce, what can the bulls do with it, or what can the bears do with it, right? It'll determine the space for the next 3 to 4 weeks, in my opinion. AMD losing absolutely everything that they had even after hours yesterday. AMD top to bottom, guys, pre-market to the flush, right? 9.5% almost down on AMD, right? AMD back into our sweet spot here. The bulls losing absolutely everything of the weekly bounce here in one single day. 4 days of bounce here, completely erased in one single day of trading. At this point, AMD, right, we are still in consolidation mode, right? The bears have now reversed this. They have now, well, I mean, the daily uptrend was never confirmed. They have just reconfirmed with this lower low right here. They've just reconfirmed the daily downtrend, right? Daily downtrend. It's very obvious, right? So your weekly consolidation at this point is still underway. It is now a confirmed weekly downtrend at this point. So monthly consolidation on AMD continues. Not going to say started because it's been started for a while. Continues here. AMD bulls, a lot of space to work with. Anything above 82 is for your monthly higher low. Coming into my pocket here, right? You see this monthly 12 EMA at around $98 coming into it quickly. So we'll see if the bulls can step in here. If we do drop to $100 or below, I will be looking for puts in the next week or two, definitely. But the last thing I want to do here, guys, is catch a falling knife into potentially tomorrow. So we're going to let the volatility here play out on AMD. But AMD looking good in terms of the long-term perspectives, in my opinion, representing some good risk to reward from our all-time highs, right? So I still remind you guys, if you have a more long-term time basis here, AMD still almost 38% off of your all-time highs. And we know with NVIDIA's earnings yesterday that semiconductors are still set up beautifully for the next 2 to 5 years. Amazon here as well in one single day, right? Look, 4 days of bounce. The bulls, what was I saying yesterday? I said I'm not confident that the bulls have put in enough space to be able to confidently say that the lower high was in a decent situation, right? Not like Apple or Microsoft, but now completely erasing those gains here. So Amazon daily downtrend was always a thing. We were always looking for the lower high. I was saying, look at the size of the bounce. If the bulls got all the way up here and then we had a drop like today, I would say, okay, we're still safe. But now not a lot of space to work with here, guys. 131.26 is key into tomorrow and Monday. If they flush this, we're going for the gap fill around 130 here. And at that point, guys, your weekly consolidation on Amazon will not be finished. Anything above 126.29 is just looking still for the weekly higher low. And you do have some moving average support here right around our gap fill area, 130. So we do have some decent supports down here, but we're going to take this one day at a time. The bulls still unable to confirm these daily trend changes on a lot of these names, so potential further consolidation may just be warranted here. Hate to say it, but that was the moral of the story, guys. You know very well that I've been saying the size of the bounce is crucial, and I've told you on which names the bounces were adequate enough and which names the bounces just weren't juicy enough here for me to say, okay, probabilities-wise, we could very likely end up with a higher low. Right now, daily downtrend seems to want to continue tomorrow. Crucial. Google had reconfirmed pretty much the capacity for a daily uptrend with a beautiful engulfing bounce. Google actually not giving back too much in relation to yesterday's low, even though they did have a massive drop top to bottom here, guys. Look, 3.5% on Google. Very, very, very ugly day, right? Very ugly day indeed. So Google still set up okay, not excellent, but okay any day after today, right? I'll just be able to say okay. 127 is your key area, guys. 127. Bulls was still a nice amount of space to work with here to potentially set up for a daily trend change, but we need to see how the next few days play out here. Still trapped in this range. This was a look above and break down below, right? We looked above this whole area of resistance here. Couldn't get it done. Market fell apart today. So we're back down here. The 127 area is going to be absolutely crucial. If we flush this 127 for any which reason, your next target area is going to be the gap fill around 124 here. Google on the weekly, right? Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Could set up potentially for the weekly downtrend. Weekly downtrend wouldn't mean much here, but it would mean that monthly consolidation is potentially underway, still with a bunch of space here, anything above 116, even if we do take a month off, right? So just keep that in mind for Google. I don't like this look above and look below. It gives a nice weekly wick on top, which leads you to believe that a weekly downtrend could be set, guys. So we're going to keep an eye on that. 127 area will be crucial to look out for. Was confident this until they breached the high yesterday and look below, guys. It was weekly uptrend reconfirmed. But today's damage just kind of reversed that. That's why we're going to wait for the weekly close here. They could always close back up here if tomorrow's a beautiful day. But the weekly close on Google will be crucial. Meta. I didn't cover Meta yesterday. Sorry, guys. My bad. Went through the list a bit quickly. Meta actually had a decent bounce, right? They had a very decent bounce in relation to the 306 previous high, right? So they came all the way back to about 300 and then started the drop today. So Meta have to keep an eye on this. Anything above 274 will still be for a potential low, higher low compared to this low here, right? For a potential daily trend change to the bulls. But that is what we are hoping for, right? The likely scenario, since we're in a daily downtrend, was always lower high and potentially look back for the lows. Never know if they're going to crack them or not. That's why you have to look at the size of the bounce. I like the size of this bounce. It was quite decent, right? But with an absolutely destructive day today, right? You can see that they're taking back a lot of it and momentum is pointing to the downside here. So we'll see, can the bulls save this and set up for the daily trend change, or does our daily downtrend just continue and our weekly consolidation just continue on Meta, and potentially even monthly consolidation just continue on Meta? That's why I say the next few days are going to be crucial for the next few weeks. Microsoft as well, right? Top to bottom, guys, look at this nasty move, right? almost 4% on Microsoft. You guys know Microsoft doesn't really put in 4% to the downside names top to bottom. That's why the 2% here is a bit of a fake number, right? I look to look at things top to bottom because that's actually how much they gave back today from their pre-market, right? So Microsoft had a very decent bounce, especially with NVIDIA earnings after hours yesterday. Very decent engulfing bounce, just as Apple. They created a lot of space between the 311 low, right? So now, crucial, just as all these charts, can the bulls step in and save the daily downtrend reversal? Or are we going to set, potentially on Microsoft as well, the likelihood of a weekly downtrend here, which would set up for further monthly consolidation? Further monthly consolidation, guys, I will remind you, if we keep dropping here, if they reverse and set up a potential new daily downtrend, because this daily downtrend was lost. The bulls engulfed it, right? Compared to a chart like Meta, they never lost the daily downtrend because you didn't engulf the move, right? This was always a daily downtrend. We were looking at the size of the bounce to see if this was possible or if they bounce here and flush, you know what I mean? But Microsoft negated and reversed the daily downtrend. Now, if they set a new daily downtrend, your weekly higher lows will be set here, potentially for weekly further consolidation. Weekly downtrend will be confirmed. And at that point, guys, monthly consolidation is underway. My sweet spot, keep in mind, Microsoft 307 down to 285. But on the long term, guys, look at the space the bulls have for this monthly consolidation. That's why I say, don't be nervous. Just be patient. Let stocks come to you, and we'll take these things one day at a time. NVIDIA here. Well, you know, despite the earnings, there was a lot of profit taking today. No negative sentiment whatsoever, right? It's not as if something disastrous happened today. It's just very, very red day. Culmination of a bunch of different things. Fear, apprehension, looking at tomorrow, Jackson Hole, right? So NVIDIA here still in a daily uptrend. But unfortunately, we gave back almost everything in relation to yesterday's close. And now after hours, we've even given back a bit more here. So right at where we were before earnings here, right? So NVIDIA still in a daily uptrend here. Your higher low is going to be set still at 451. If we lose 451, we'll have lost the daily uptrend. At that point, guys, you will be in your weekly consolidation mode here if the bears set up the daily downtrend, right? The key level for me on NVIDIA, guys, is still this 400 level, right? So you see the weekly uptrend was saved at this point. And now if we potentially set up for a weekly downtrend and lose this 400, guys, this 400 is a key level for potential monthly consolidation. So we'll take this one day at a time. Weekly uptrend is still saved. Anything still, since it's a double bottom here, anything above 404 pretty much, this area right here, is just for a weekly higher low for continuation. The same thing as it was here is the same thing as it is here, right? So just keep that in mind on NVIDIA. Bulls with a decent amount of space to work with, over 10%, right? You know, 10, 12, 13% here to work with. So we'll take this one day at a time, see what happens. Tesla bulls, not doing too bad compared to other stocks, right? So Tesla bounce was decent, right? This whole flush area, the 251, where it dropped from the last time, right? The bulls were able to take back a decent amount of space. And now you see the bulls are playing good defense. Good defense. Still a lot of space above 212, right? A lot of space above 212 to potentially set up for a daily bull flag, daily higher low compared to our low down here. Potentially for a daily trend change. Can Tesla be the one to do it? I'm still waiting for one of our stocks to do it. Who will do it first? So far, the best contenders to potentially do it are Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla in relation to how much of the move they've taken back. Even Google is also a pretty decent contender for kind of holding this move up, this whole move potentially, right? But Tesla, of the ones that have dropped significantly, I like Tesla's chances here. We're going to take it one day at a time, guys. Still looking for your daily higher low. All right. Crucial area. We do have the 200 daily moving average right down here at about 222. So we'll see how tomorrow plays out. But bulls with a decent amount of space to look out for here. If for any chance they flush, well, weekly consolidation will still be underway. Since we didn't crack yesterday's high, I can't say that this is a weekly downtrend confirmed as some other names, right? Tesla still, though, however, already in monthly consolidation here. As you can see, anything above 152 is just a monthly higher low. So tons of space to work with, guys. This is why it's my sweet spot, because it's monthly previous resistance, which will now be support. And you see it reacted in there once. So expecting the bulls to put up somewhat of a fight in this area. And lastly, Palantir and PayPal. Palantir giving back, Palantir giving back a lot of gains here today, guys. Minus 7.5%. But if you want to see top to bottom here, look at this, right? Top to bottom of the day was almost 12% down on Palantir here. So Palantir battling with a very, very, very crucial level here, right? Your 1362. That should be no secret to you guys. I've been mentioning this week for a while. It's your weekly higher low. So if we flush that, your weekly uptrend has just been lost. At that point, we will just be looking for a potential weekly downtrend into further monthly consolidation. But Palantir, a lot of space, anything above like $7, guys. It's just a monthly higher low, right? So tons of space to work with here. It obviously isn't the best for anybody who's bought in this area, right? But once again, my sweet spot on Palantir here is going to be in the $12 range. We'll see how it plays out. Whether this can double bottom if we get good news tomorrow, we'll see how this plays out. But not looking good. Bulls giving back 100% almost of this most recent move in one day. 4 days of bounce and after hours erased in one single day, guys. It always is a shame to see something like that. But in all fairness, we were looking out for your lower high for potentially look to the lows here. It was always a daily downtrend for further weekly consolidation. It's just a shame that the bulls put in a lot of space and now had to give it all back in one single day. So crucial level here, guys, not only for your daily trend change, right? But also the weekly uptrend may be in the risk. Okay, so keep this in mind on Palantir. Take it one day at a time. PayPal also giving back some gains here. I do like the size of the bounce on PayPal, however, though. This is also one of my names that the size of the bounce was quite sizable. So PayPal, you see, wasn't dropping as much as some stocks today. I imagine because it's been beaten to absolute, an outstanding amount of beatdown, right, recently on PayPal. So PayPal with a lot of space to work with here, anything about 57.35. We'll just be looking for a daily higher low. Obviously, PayPal can't do it all, right? If the rest of the market continues to go red in this fashion, right? Well, PayPal, it's going to be tough for PayPal to put in any gains, right? It'll kind of have to follow suit and trend towards the lows. But I like the amount of space that PayPal has put in, guys. Still looking for a daily trend change on PayPal. We'll see if the bulls can get it done. If not, your weekly consolidation just continues here. And I would not like to see them break the 57 area because they would break this little double bottom formation that we've gotten on currently here. Still, guys, haven't really bottomed out on support. We've been trying to bottom for so long now on PayPal, but until we can reverse these daily trends into weekly trends and then get a monthly upswing, guys, PayPal is not going anywhere. This is going to probably need, I haven't seen a 6, 7, 8, 10% day on PayPal in so long, guys, right? One of those could definitely set. It could reverse a lot of these downtrends, right? But it's just, I haven't seen one in a long time. Even back here, you can see this is about 4% days, right? Not even, right? I haven't seen a massive day outperformance on PayPal in a very, very, very long time. So it could need some of that to really reverse some of this long-term negativity that we've been seeing on the stock here. But valuation is cheap. One day at a time. See if the bulls can set the trend changes here. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it for today's video. No portfolio changes on the day today. Nike, my Nike 101s in jeopardy right now. Thank you, ambulance. My Nike 101s in jeopardy of being assigned, most likely will be assigned. And my Baba 90s also under $90, so may be assigned on Baba and on Nike. Nike with an absolute terrible week this week, right? Over here, it just really gapped down opens here, back to back pretty much. Not looking the best on Nike, though. However, it is a very attractive level in the grand scheme of things on this stock, right? We're talking about pretty much last October inflation crisis levels, almost, right? Even at my 101 level, it's very good. Or all the way back to 2020. You know what I mean? So, very decent levels on Nike, considering they have grown revenue significantly in the past 2-3 years, right? And profit margin's still the same, but a lot of the China news kind of hurting this stock as well, right? So we'll keep an eye on all these things, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I didn't sound too bearish. I'm just trying to say how things are, right? Measure the size of the bounce, and we'll see, can the bulls set up these daily trend changes, or are the daily downtrends just going to persist? I like the size of the bounces on a lot of our names. It's unfortunate, though, however, that we've given so much of it back in one day. Jerome Powell tomorrow, guys, is going to drop the hammer one way or the other. So keep an eye on that, guys. I appreciate if you watch the channel, guys. If you liked it, consider liking the video. If you're new, consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, any questions, leave them down in the comments, guys. If you want me to look at a stock, some options, or anything really, leave them down there, and I will be very happy to answer. I'll see you guys tomorrow after the close. Take care, have a great night, and peace.